Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first day of the Marvel Rivals Championship group stage here for Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition. Together, all 22 teams will be competing today. But just for today, we'll be seeing just six of them. And going straight into it will be Dalhousie University and SFU Landsharks. And of course, it won't just be me that will be talking your ear off. I will be joined with my fellow caster, who I'm so sorry. My
Well,
stuff just glitched out. But I will be joining
oh,
my fellow casters battles.
hi. So nice to meet you all here, and I'm really excited for the day, right? We had an amazing couple panels here in the morning, and now starting off with Marvel Rivals Day 1, there's a lot to look forwards to. Right, Juice did touch on it briefly, but we have a 12-team Marvel Rivals tournament. Day 1 is going to be your group stage. We have 3 groups, each of them with 4 teams, so 12 teams in total, and of them, we're going to be seeing 8 teams graduate into the bracket here tomorrow. So 4 of these teams here won't be able to make it to the playoffs, and you got a lot on the line here, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially since a lot of them are coming fresh from like their own other seasons outside of CIE. NACC has happening still happening right now actually, I believe, with the playoffs
Yeah.
here. And a few of the teams competing in the CIE are also competing or have competed in the national stage. So we already know that basically the skill level is quite high here. We are going to it's going to be quite intense.
Yeah, it's going to be super intense. Like, these are some of the best Marvel Rivals players, and I don't think we should stall for any longer, right? Looking at these rosters, let's start off with the SFU Landsharks.
Oh, absolutely. Great comp that we're seeing so far. Seeing Doctor Strange here. Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that we're seeing it straight away here in collegiate, considering at least I know how he is, especially the synergy they have set up. But I know Spackles will definitely have a better idea here with who we have with the heroes where we have essentially.
Yeah, lots of really solid favorites here for these players. Marcus, Panzer, Dash, Brandon, Bluesabub, and Nina going to be representing your SFU team. And we look at the other half of this matchup. We got Dalhousie University. They have a really strong roster off the gate. A lot of these players are, live and breathe dive and regular matchmaking. So seeing them come back here is going to be interesting because that is the flavor of the month. That is the current dominant meta composition. And I have no doubt that all 6 of these players are going to be able to pilot it very well.
Oh, 100%, especially since I know Dalhousie, they were one of the teams that made it pretty far in. Their record is quite great for NACC. I believe overall it is 9-1, I believe, and
Yep.
or 9-2, sorry. Which I mean, and I'm sure, and early on in that season when they were more heavy hitting, and it was really just a few missteps here, but still like very 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 well built, and very very much strong contenders.
Yeah, really good to see such a strong team here off the bat, really set the mood and give us a lot to look forward to. And if you've been paying attention to the Marvel Rivals Collegiate scene, you'll have seen a lot of the SFU roster competing during the Raccoon Cup 2026 that just wrapped up a month or two ago. So plenty of familiar names, but this time with an entirely different meta. So to catch you guys up, for the longest time, Marvel Rivals has had a pretty long reliance on poke compositions, especially with how fast that you could build up your ultimates. You would just see them left, right, and center. But with the Season 7 global ult nerfs, combo that with some pretty strong character releases in White Fox and Black Cat, Dive is on the menu, and it is better than ever. I think that it really makes for a lot of really interesting gameplay, especially since you're not going to be relying on your ultimates every fight. Juice, you're going to have a lot of work cut out for you, following some of these like faster, hectic ones.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially with the new meta, or at least
Yeah.
with I'm expecting to see some Deadpools to show up within here, and that's what really scares me. But like,
Yeah.
hey, like, but yeah, like you said, I know with dive coming into the meta, but I know coming in like still pretty recently, like, but this was still what we'll see pretty much in the collegiate scene. I know when compared to like I guess the bigger stages, I guess we are a little bit slow to that just because of how we move and operate. But I mean, hey, like I mean these are still players I've been playing on their A game for a hot minute, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do absolutely amazing. But here we are going straight into it. We're going to map pick. We're going in intergalactic. Oh, Wakanda. Okay, okay. For
Yeah.
our first map here.
Wakanda is an absolute classic, and I have no doubt it's going to give us an amazing first matchup here. And Juice, the first match of CIE 2026, it's hype, it's big, it's here, and it's here right now. I Tell me about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're going
Yeah.
straight into it. Dalhousie Gold. So if you like we said before, they have like great history. They have great rep, and like I get a lot of familiar faces I'll be seeing, especially with this map. I'm sure like we're gonna see a lot of amazing, insane plays and a lot of potential that we'll see, especially with the with who we're seeing banned already and who they're seeing, who they potentially may pick for both teams.
Yeah, first ban onto the Gambit from Dalhousie makes a lot of sense. Gambit is a very commanding support if he's able to get through the draft, especially if you don't have one of your own. So it's a really safe option here to ban them out. And then on the other side, you see a Moon Knight ban into a Magic Protect. Magic speaks volumes on what SFU Landsharks are trying to promote here. They have a very strong Magic player on their team, and playing to protect it's just second nature, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
and especially what you're saying with the gambit from earlier, considering how broken, or not broken, but definitely no, I think we can say broken a little bit in the Marvel Rivals meta. So
Yeah.
already, yeah, a lot that we are expecting so far from the band pick, at least from like what you were saying.
Yeah, I would straight up call a character broken if they're able to survive 3 back-to-back seasons worth of nerfs and still be on top, still be top tier meta. Yeah, well, we can go around and throw that term loosey goosey. Looking further here at the ban phase, we see an Invis Protect. Really big key point there. Invis is amazing at dueling those dive targets and giving herself a ton of survivability. Does fall a little bit at Daredevil, so we might have a preview of a future ban to come. You see the Venom ban. Venom has been a very strong dive tank in the current meta. Namor getting taken out of the way. He is one of the few characters right now that can stand his ground and do it very well thanks to his turrets and the Hela team mounts taking him out because he is the more potent of the two. There's a lot of merit to it. Then you see the Emma Frost Protect. Really strong tank, not so much in a dive position, but really promotes that brawl identity and could be a hint here at what SFU Landsharks are positioning themselves for. But Dalhousie protecting the Punisher. So Punisher has come back into the meta in a really big way, not really as a poker sustained DPS kind of character, but because people are rediscovering how strong that shotgun can be. If you land all your pellets, it can be a one shot. That's a little bit outside of the realm of normalcy, I would say. But looking at it from a bigger picture, right, being able to two-shot people is still very strong, and with the amount of overkill it has, it gives you a lot of room to kill people still through healing.
I mean, yeah, and especially sorry, I just wasn't expecting a last minute change from Mantis to Jeff the Shark. Um Interesting pick. I wasn't expecting that. I really thought they would stick with their Mantis pick, considering the team comp that they have. But I guess it makes sense with that just a short pick. And also with Dalhousie starting to lock in a few of their heroes. We're seeing Squirrel Girl, and I see still ghosting over Captain America, possibly.
Well, Captain America would be a pretty solid pickup. Both of these teams, they're providing us with a lot, or that are, it gives us a lot to, sorry. A lot of what we're seeing right here is to be expected. Really solid dive cores. You got the Jeff with the changes that were made over the seasons. Does make him into a bit of a competitive powerhouse, especially when comboed up with the dive. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the Widow to go through. So seeing the magic that Dalhousie fought so hard to protect, using their first protect of the match on her, it makes a ton of sense. And when you look over at the side of the SFU Land Sharks, they've got a traditional core combo that with a penny for a lot of area denial. I think that they're trying to play fast here, trying to secure that point, and then using that advantage to zone their opponents off and play the long game.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a trend we've seen with Dalhousie. At least with the previous games that NEC seen. Here, going straight into it here. Going straight into a little team fight here. Going straight throwing some util. Trying to gang up, but still having some pushback. But Evo still being able to push him back just a little bit more. Hanging the upper hand. Using the map to their advantage. Already swinging around. Trying to use their guns. Squirrel really here trying to come in for support. Trying to use their util. Hopefully they'll come in and they'll be able to counter. Thankfully they are able to swing in, and it looks like they'll be backing off for now, but still pretty solid moves from both sides. But I mean, yeah, a lot we could probably take away from it.
Yeah, Land Sharks making excellent use of that Punisher that they protected and seizing control at that point very early, setting the penny up for a really large amount of success. Now, all of these characters are still pretty far away from Ultimate Charge, considering there was only 3 kills in that first engagement, but that's the Land Sharks' goal. They want to slow things down and they want to prevent Dalhousie from making their way in.
Oh, 100%. And right now, it seems that they are very good at really succeeding in pushing them back or preventing them from getting in here, as they're really holding that control of the map here, and are really making sure that they're holding that space, making sure Dalhousie isn't able to really come in here. As you see, a lot of pushback, unable to really push in here, and Jeff really just taunting, able to get a few hits, but not really succeeding. Squirrel Girl here with Penny, able to push and getting some common ground, able to get their own space, and being able to take over, get some hits on Dalhousie, apologies, and being able to at least spread out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a complete shutout here by the SFU Land Sharks. They're able to build their ultimates. They're able to preserve their lives moving forward. And this is spelling a little bit of desperation here for Dalhousie, because they're not able to get a good fight here. It's going to be a really difficult time contesting.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of pushbacks from SMU. They are not letting Dalhousie really get that pressure. And again, going again here, unable to really get that payload, and unable to really push further and able to make any progress right now. But I'm not making some progress still. Able to get a few hits here with Dalhousie here, getting a few hits, letting it all nice, and being able to ground a little bit of SMU, but still enough where very much so able to take that space. Okay, able to push back.
A really dominant defense from SFU Land Sharks. And it provides them with a lot of powerful ult going into this next point, right? You have the White Fox ult, you have Bucky's Kraken Impact, and almost most importantly of all, Panzer has the strange ultimate to be able to lock down and deny a lot of your opponents. Now, Dalhousie, they do have some tools in their wheelhouse to work with, but it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to overcome such a deficit.
Oh, 100%, especially with how SFU really went guns a blazing with that first round here, and really went straight into it. It really did not give Dalhousie any room to breathe, and I don't even think any room to really build off like their ultimates really. And especially seeing like SFU definitely did, but already having 3 ultimates ready to use. 3 more ready, like when on the process of getting there, but still already a bigger advantage compared to Dalhousie. And here they are getting straight into it. Dalhousie, hopefully they'll be able to turn the tides with this game.
And they've really got a lot ahead of them. Good swap there onto the Iron Man. They're really throwing a lot at the wall and trying to see what sticks. And you would expect that from a team that wasn't really able to find their footing there on this first round.
Oh, 100%, especially since they're slowly getting there, being taking up space. Taking up Iron Man, and right now with Penny, I'm going really straight at it with SFU. It looks like she might be, but Dalhousie looks like they might be able to shut her down and push her back. Going straight into it here. Already getting some moves here against Wanda. Being able to at least have a little bit of resistance with that back and forth here. Iron Man here getting a lot of space, a lot of coverage. Great util from Iron Man here. And really doing a great job of targeting SFU and getting an advantage for Dalhousie here. Already wiping it yet again. Iron Man's doing amazing here. Dalhousie's Iron Man. And already going very literally guns a blazing.
Showing us a really good show from Luxio and on the Iron Man. Not only being able to get one with the ultimate, but also really turning the tides, right? They were able to overcome such a big ultimate deficit, win that fight, capture early, and now the Land Sharks have to run back into them. Now, there were some swaps onto their composition. They have a Psylocke and a Hulk now, which weren't present on that first point, but as the Land Sharks continue to try to find an angle here to attack this point, you take and poke from all sorts of angles.
Oh, 100%. It seems like a few of them still really clinging to the poke meta, but I mean, hey, it's been working out, especially with the competition that they're playing out right now. Deadpool, love the Deadpool skin. Deadpool coming in guns blazing and already swinging out of here. There's a little team fight here as they try and take over that space, hopefully to mark their Dalhousie mark. And getting a good wipe of the team, actually. Right now, the tides have very much turned for Dalhousie and have started to hold a bit of the upper hand, where now SFU will have some catching up to do.
Yeah, there's a big amount of difficulty here, right? For them to continue to come back into this. Dalhousie have a solid grip on this point. The Strange Portal comes through, but they're not able to touch onto this point yet. They need to get on for the overtime, and they will. But although it hasn't been ticked up yet, the time is running out. It's a triple kill for the Kraken Impact. Land Sharks know how to make an impact with the Godly Noob.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Actually insane. That really looks like it'll be hard for SFU, for Land Sharks to really do much here, but still putting on amazing plays. But very much so, it is still in Dalhousie's favor. They're very much getting much closer to taking control of that area, and and with SFU slowly getting there, but very much so already. Will they be able to hold that space, and or will Dalhousie be able to contest it and take it away from them? But right now they seem to be really going at it. Dalhousie going in great angle going in, where and it seems like SFU wasn't really expecting it too much. Coming in, using the map to their advantage, able to put a lot of util, where very much so on making on Strange not useless, but very much difficult for him to react and counter here. Iron Man going yet again, getting a little nerfed from the other team, but it's okay. They're still pushing forward. Land Sharks finally getting a chance to retaliate, having a chance to push Dalhousie back, and Dalhousie has no choice but to retreat. But SFU will not let them retreat. They are pushing back. They are following. They're going to get their kills in. But it seems like now pretty okay. Deadpool coming in with some support here. But so far, it looks like a quick shift for SFU. It looks like it still could be either or for who could really would really win the objective here.
Yeah, it's a really difficult time here. The Land Sharks were able to come back into it, and Dalhousie are cracking under the pressure. 80% on the point to go, or sorry, 80% to captured, 20% to go as the timer's ticking down. Dalhousie have to act, and they have to act in a definitive manner. We see the Invis ults go down and a Cloak and Dagger to cover it too for the other team. An ultimate from the Iron Man goes wide.
Yeah, and Hulk is absolutely going crazy. He's really just going at it now, especially with the clock ticking right now. It looks like we might go into overtime, but the Hulk pushing it, and it looks like right now they're not going to go down. They're not going to let that Hulk swing him around and really push them. As they now we are able to contest that, pushing him back. And it seems like right now the check bar is very much still with SFU, and it looks like this one goes to SFU yet again.
Now, SFU had us thrown for a little bit of a loop there. Coming into second point, they looked incredibly strong, lost the initial fight, and allowed Dalhousie Gold to come out of a situation they shouldn't have been able to. Right, they had a lot of capture progress on that point. It went all the way down to 99% overtime, but the Land Sharks do what the Land Sharks do best, and they swim around, they circle the point, and they were able to pounce right at the correct moment. So now securing map number 1 for themselves, they set themselves up in a pretty strong position moving forward.
Oh, 100%. Like SFU was doing an amazing job finding
Yep.
the best opportunities, the best moments for themselves, and especially here, looking how amazing they did so far with last match. Very much steep contrast to Dalhousie and the pressure that they were really putting on them. But hey, still a chance for Dalhousie to turn tide around. But as of right now, SFU very much coming in swinging.
Yeah, big pointers here. Marcus with a C, 23, 1 and 16 on a Hulk of all people. They are practically immortal and doing a lot of really strong, good damage while they're at it. Another one is going to be Dash on that Psylocke. You were swapping around a little bit. Wasn't Psylocke the entire time, but we love effects king, flex, king, queen, or thing, any of the above. Really solid performance there. And Landsharks are looking to extend this advantage that they have going into this next map. Right now, it is going to be Dalhousie's opportunity to pick one of the remaining maps in this pool. And it's going to be difficult for them to find something that really throws the Landsharks off their game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because this will be at least one of their last chances. Hopefully, not their last chance to really turn the tide and hope and maybe get the upper hand here at SFU. But I mean, hey, they've already had a few encounters. They already know a little bit of what to expect from SFU. And I mean, it's not that they're not unable to hold their own. They were able to give some pushback. They were able to have a lot of control until the last moment. But I mean, still, it was very heated and very sweaty for both teams.
Yeah, that rivalry is not going to go away anywhere soon. You have this is a best of 3 series, so your next opportunity here is going to have to be a big one because you got 3 rounds here tonight to play. So starting off with a win sets SFU up in a really strong position. Now, out of the next couple maps that they could take us to, a lot of them will favor dive very heavily. So this map pool is missing the newest map that launched the game, Manhattan. But it is including both White Fox and Black Cat. We saw a little bit of White Fox there. Black Cat hasn't made her appearance yet. A little bit too new, perhaps, for some of these players, right? Because you do want to, for a large part, even though the character can be very strong, you want to rely on some era of familiarity.
Oh, 100%. And especially like you said, it's still a little bit too new for meta, and especially since it was the first game
Yep.
where we saw they went for a lot of their comfort picks. So, and I mean, it makes sense. It obviously worked out well for them. But I would love to see some Black Hat action later on into the stream today. I mean, not
Yep.
impossible, especially since she is quite good. Even though she's still a newer character, and especially the dive meta definitely favors her more.
Yep. And out of these maps, right, you have the choice between either Convoy or Convergence. And it is going to be played on the official Marvel Rivals Ignite pool. So you got Central Park in Midtown, you've got Krakoa and Araco, and you'll have Hall of Dahlia, Central Husk, Symbiotic Surface, Heart of Heaven, and a couple more maps in there. I won't bore you too much with the details. Given what we know about these two teams, right? SFU are, like you said before, very comfortable playing their team, right? They don't have that storied history that Dalhousie has, so they're able to play a lot scrappier and come out a lot faster. So we did get confirmation here on this next map, and it's going to be going over to Central Park.
Ooh, absolutely exciting pick, and I can't wait to see which game mode that they pick next. Now I was seeing it swing to Dalhousie, especially with how we were kind of seeing the first game
Yeah.
pick went down. I really hope that they go for Convergence. At least that's what it seems like that would favor them. But I mean, I would love to hear your thoughts, Baffles.
Yeah, Central Park does provide a lot of opportunities. That first point is really, really heavily favoring Bunker on the defensive side. We already saw a Penny come out before. I would be surprised to see her not come back again. As for the rest of it, though, there are a lot of good dive angles. If you're able to play fast and get over those Penny mines, it's going to be really, really good for you. When we come through snaking the rest of the map, Yes, there is a bit more of a focus here on poke, but it's not going to be too much to persuade you to swap and give up a lot of your benefits here from running a full team comp through.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and like you said, a lot of opportunities, especially for the hero matchups or the hero pick that we already have been seeing. I definitely think that Central Park would lead for a lot of interesting interactions between the other teams. And I mean, hey, I guess we'll definitely be seeing it as we kind of head into round two now, or game two now, where we will. I'm really curious to see whether we will see a more some of the familiar picks that we saw last time, or if we'll see something new. And it looks like.
Yeah, so with us going to Central Park, the bans are mostly going to remain static. I'm not expecting too many things to change. Though, right as I say that, Dalhousie off the rip choose to ban away that invis that was protected previously, really keenly pointing out a weak point or a strong point for their enemy team and trying to remove it because they don't want to play it either.
Oh, 100%. I mean, now, especially since now they've played what like already know what they're expecting from both sides, having played that first game. I imagine that they're going to be a little bit more targeted with these bans, which we will see. We already saw with their first bans, but I mean, like I won't be surprised to continue to see that with their next few bans.
Gambit ban here now from SFU Landsharks, going to remove a really potent support. And with two supports off the board, Land Sharks choose to protect the Cloak and Dagger, preventing themselves from potentially entering a situation where, oh no, we have 6 supports banned and we have really heal hungry characters. We're not able to sustain ourselves, and it just becomes a death ball match of who is able to do more damage to their opponent. Now, Phoenix Protect from Dalhousie is a really, really strong pickup. Having her ability to use her ultimate and immediately destroy constructs shuts down Rocket Raccoon disproportionately hard. And with the amount of power that is loaded into his CYA, his ultimate, as well as the revive towers, being able to just globally say, nope, I want to remove all of these that are remotely anywhere near the point, is a really, really strong choice to have.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, especially with how they were moving last game, I wouldn't be surprised, or not, I wouldn't be surprised, but definitely a lot of opportunities, especially with the hero comps that they're teasing right now. A lot of opportunities for them to do a lot.
Yeah.
Going into the next ban with Dalhousie, um,
Yeah, they choose to get rid of the Moon Knights, going to remove a lot of that poke, a lot of that anti-page gameplay that you would expect is now off the table. You do see SFU Landshark ban out the Venom and protect the Namor. So Namor was another character that was banned in that first matchup. Now protected is going to provide a lot of extra breathing room, a lot of space, and especially with the Hela team up, if they choose to activate it, is going to have bonus squids littered around the map on takedown, as well as a really strong source of anti-heal on command, which has a ton of extra impact because Gambit's off the board. Your main form of cleanse is gone. So if you are stuck by that anti-healing squid, it is really going to hurt you. And the finally round things out, our final 2 bans are going to be onto Tank Pool and on Penny. So you choose to ban out all the counters to Penny. You are picking Phoenix for yourself. And you know what? I don't like the way this draft is going so far, so I'm just going to remove Penny from the picture anyways.
Oh, 100%. Although I will say, I am very curious as to why one of the players, or one of the bands was skipped over. But I mean, at least for with a spot that they are right now, from what we can see on the draft page, I'm still quite okay. It's not gonna like change the game if they missed one band, but definitely I am questioning that strat a little bit. But here we are going straight into it. I see a few land sharks going in with Dalhousie, and you have yet to make contact. Really, just making just having fun on the map. They're running around and they're living their best lives right now.
Yeah.
Nothing too intense that we'll see right away, but a lot
Living
of
our best
interesting
lives
potential.
on our way to defend or kill some spooky, spooky vampires. A typical day in Manhattan. But as for the way that both of these teams have decided to structure their compositions, it's pretty expected. The team that protects the more picks him up, going to have the Bucky as well. And going to play a little bit more of a catch style comp. Loki making his debut in CIE 2026 is definitely a big one to note. When you look at Dalhousie, though, picking up their magic player, making sure that they're well funded, and going to have a lot of extra support. They're going to play slow and straight to the point with this Groot because he's only able to create so many walls on his approach. They're definitely staging themselves up towards this long game.
Oh, 100%. Because yeah, right now it doesn't look like they're gonna be worried about using Groot too much to help build those build some interesting encounters. But I mean, so far we're seeing a lot of guns a blazing. We're really surprised to see with Loki coming in, especially with how he tends to be quite a sweaty character. But here we are going straight into it. We're going to make some encounters here with land sharks. I'm able to land a few hits in. Oh wow, absolutely beautiful work. And already land sharks going in yet again. Back with Bruce Banner. Mr. Hulk, really going literally Hulk as he really goes at it and really starts swinging here with the against Dalhousie. And they are struggling to counter. They are struggling to hold their own a little bit because right now it is just Lancers hit after hit, one after the other, and really just not giving them room to breathe right now as they really keep going at it. But with Dalhousie students, seems to be pretty decent or okay. Here we have Dr. Twitch coming in, hopefully make counter hello I'm going to counter with SFU Land Sharks. Yeah, going straight into it. It is quite sweaty so far, and it's so far it's favoring Dalhousie yet again.
And Whale comes through. It doesn't quite impact with anybody, but it's going to be a Loki copy onto the Cloak and Dagger to open up this fight for SFU Land Sharks. The Groot ults pulls in 5, and they're not able to execute on it as the Land Sharks are playing very close together. It's going to be Magneto ult here to try and counter the Luna Snow. Not gonna be able to get any picks either, as it's yet to be a bloodless fight. The Kraken Impact comes out and finally crashes through the silence as Land Sharks are able to get 3 landmark kills, securing the victory here. And I gotta say, Juice, there's a lot of fighting happening for very not so many kills.
Oh yeah, 100%. Very much people going back and forth. They've used a few of their ultimates, but we haven't yet to see anything super life defying kills right now that would shift the game. It seems to be that Dalhousie really is not want to give Land Sharks another win, and so far they're doing a great job of really holding their own and making sure to take up that space and hopefully hold the upper hand here. But right now they're really just going at it here with Wanda. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful use of the ultimate. Hulk coming in with the assist. We gotta love our tanks. We gotta love our tanks. And really going at it here at Land Sharks. I'm not giving them now really turning the tides as now Land Sharks are forced to kind of hopefully try and figure out how to counter all his back-to-back moves. Here they are again, going back in, able to get a few hits, landing a few hits on Wanda, it looks like, from the Land Sharks. But right now, still enough room for Dalhousie to really retreat and really make sure not too much loss from their side, especially with how much Land Sharks didn't lose too much from those last two encounters, but like still enough where a little bit favoring Dalhousie. But I mean, hey, they're still doing great. Pushing again Dalhousie as a team this time as a going in, and they try and pushing them back. Beautiful move from Vision to hopefully push them back. Looks like it wasn't too successful. Doctor Strange coming in using their util, landing it, and being able to set a few music. Okay, it looks like we got a few utilities that came in earlier, and right now they're really going at it here at the checkpoint as they now go back and forth. Land Sharks and Dalhousie going in hits. We're finally seeing a few kills now. Getting a wipe here. Dalhousie losing a member as they now, and still a good trade for Land Sharks here, but still very much upper hand in the numbers game with Dalhousie of the benefit here, pushing back and forth. Ivy going in, being able to push back here. Hulk coming in with swinging, going absolutely crazy, going absolutely Hulk. Here, and really just showing you why he's one of the best tanks in the meta right now, as he really goes, he is pushing back and he is not letting Dalhousie breathe right now. That Hulk is very much a powerhouse.
Yep, Strange TP brings them back into this fight, and the Land Sharks now using the Meteor are going to find themselves a kill, make that 2, but is equalized out by the Dalhousie gold. These teams are still in it. It can go either way. And there is just so much damage. Going to be 2 more kills for the Dalhousie Gold. Make that 3. This Rogue is on a rampage. You come and crash her wedding day. She'll come and crash down on you. The Dalhousie Gold finally winning their first team fight of the map are able to secure themselves a second half.
Oh my, that was a beautiful move from Dalhousie on being able to really push it back into their favor and being able to counter beautifully against the Land Sharks right now. And I mean, hey, so far, they are doing amazing. They're really able to go in guns blazing. They have taken the control of that space, and they are pushing. They're really going at it right now against the Land Sharks. Really pushing back and forth. They're making it difficult for the Land Sharks to really get in that space. There's not much room, even with Loki. Even with Loki coding, so getting more room to push in, but it's hard for them to really dive in and really get anything up close with Dalhousie right now. But instead, I'm going in now. Guns blazing, very much landing a few hits, going for the Lokis, might get a beautiful util skill. Hulk coming in for a defense, able to get in and block him out. Being able launching an alt possibly and canceling an alt, going back in. Absolutely insane moves right now.
The Punisher ult helps cleave through the fight, and finally, Land Sharks have regained control. I was a little bit worried there that Dalhousie Gold were continuing to run away with things, but ultimately, 1 pick turns into 2. And down one of your supports, the Gold have no choice but to retreat. Now, SFU Land Sharks have themselves a pretty nice position with the Loki copy as well as their Cloak and Dagger ultimate. But Dalhousie Gold are looking at the back again, right? 2 support ults coming at it, and they have a Phoenix ult that, yes, is effective, but is going to pale a little bit in comparison to some of the value that you're able to get out of this Hulk extra in raged form.
Oh, 100%, especially since this Hulk is very much someone a Hulk you do not want to mess with right now. He is constantly getting doesn't just really able to mess up Dalhousie and really just come in. Going Hulk. I will keep making that bit, I guess. But yeah, you're going with the ultimate from Vision. Looks like going in, being able to push back. And Land Sharks very much claim holding the upper hand here as they are able to hold so space. Sorry for Dalhousie.
Yeah.
And very much so.
The 15 seconds left. Dalhousie Gold find themselves with a lot of pressure. The portal should come out soon, but they're not going to be able to touch unless somebody goes and runs directly at it. The clock hits 0 seconds. Dalhousie Gold have now lost their opportunity to push further on into the map, and SFT Land Sharks are looking pretty happy considering they were able to prevent a large landslide against them.
Oh yeah, 100%. It seems like we seem to see a pattern where Dalhousie is able to keep up, to able to hold their own, able to counter back, but it still like ultimately ends up throwing back to Land Sharks being able to make the right moves, being able to make the right reactions, being able to make the right aims, and explaining why they were able to take these last few games. And going straight into it too. Oh, sorry, no.
No, it's okay. Going into this next attack, Land Sharks are looking to repeat a lot of what worked previously. Some of you may call Nomura a defense-only character, but the Godly Noob says no. Meanwhile, when we're looking at Dalhousie Gold, right, they had to lock in their comp a lot earlier to leave the spawn, make their way over to the points. And you're walking out with a little bit of a mix-up, right? We see Black Cat here for the first time this series. She's going to provide you with a lot of extra power. I'm sure if all of you have been playing your comp games, you've seen her to no end, or you haven't seen her at all because she's been banned pretty constantly. One big thing to note about her is her ability to use that shop, use up that money that she's earned, and buy some really powerful effects. Really goes and sets her 1 step above most of her opposition.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, she is very much a force you don't want to reckon with. And I feel like it's the case with a lot of new characters who come into the meta and they're absolutely amazing, where everyone is scared of them and will try and avoid them or try and abuse them as much as they can. And it seems like with the, how they are using Black Cat, or at least how we will be seeing them use Black Cat as they kind of try and counter this Hulk. we may see a lot of the benefits and a lot of the plus side of Black Pepper. Right now, we're going straight into it. Already going in, trapping them in here, going straight into the payload. Already starting to build our alts. Landshark's having a lot of great progress with building our hearts. Their alts, and going back with Hulk really landing a lot of hits and being able to target a lot of Dalhousie's goal. He is very much he is poking, he is diving, he is very much bullying, and very much again going absolutely insane. As it seems like Landsharks don't or Dalhousie don't really know how to react to it too much as he's very much running around. And here we are again, Punisher going in. And very much giving that support as they're very much slowly one after one clean up Dalhousie, as now only one member remains, and it seems like right now Landsharks will let him survive another day.
Yep. Land Sharks rolling through like they own the place, moving, looking forwards towards this push. They got a lot of time here left on this clock. 5 minutes to walk 87 meters. I'm not a math connoisseur, but somebody in the chat can tell me how many meters per second that is, but it's not much. All right, so with that brisk stroll ahead of them, Dalhousie really have to do a lot to set obstacles in their way, mount up their defenses, and provide their team with a little bit more time to scale. They need to afford this Black Cat as much money, as much time to raise some funds as necessary. You know, while they are starting to come up on some very powerful ultimates, all eyes are going to be on this Groot to see if they're able to land a big one.
Oh, 100%, especially since now we're going straight with Dalhousie and Landsharks. Already you got another encounter again as I go back and back again, going with an all. Okay, going in from an all and immediately getting pushed back, but it's okay. And going straight back into it. Sorry. With Hulk really taking up the battlefield and very much throwing space around and making sure that Dalhousie are able to get much progress with that payload. That payload has not moved an inch; it's unable to with the amount of space the Lancers are taking. And right now, it looks like again with Dalhousie losing that payload again as they are mostly wiped out, and Landsharks very much taking control and able to push forward with it. Yeah, very much looking great for them. Dalhousie coming back in, looks like they're going to try again, getting a few hits in, but Landsharks still pretty great, pretty comfortable where they are. They didn't manage, even if they only managed to hit a move a few feet, it seems like they were able to go through these fights and clean them up pretty fast, especially right now we're seeing with the Hulk going absolutely crazy right now, and very much doing a great job of targeting them all and really landing his hits here, going in with vision. Absolutely by diabolical play right here, as now going straight into it goes to Landsharks yet again.
Yeah, Landsharks claim this series 2-0 and in pretty convincing fashion at that. Dalhousie, they have history at their side, but they really didn't show up with their A game here tonight. And it really shows, right? So Landsharks had some really key standout players here. I definitely want to give it here to Marcus with his C. Seeing the amount of space they're able to control with this Hulk. Now we are a little bit biased because we're looking at the front line a lot, but the stats don't lie either. They're able to do a really disproportionate amount of damage to Dalhousie, and is really at the spearhead of how they're able to intercept a lot of those varying strategies Dalhousie try to use against them. We saw a little bit there on the defensive side where Dalhousie tried to go around them with the Angela, tried to sneak by and provide an opportunity for a pincer attack, but you saw Landsharks, mostly Marcus, on top of them, able to shut them down and get themselves a pretty easy kill as a result of it. Right. Meanwhile, I do want to shout out the rest of the team. Yes, the stats are inflated, but on the side of Dalhousie, we really saw how the Phoenix player, Rial, I hope that I'm getting that name right, they were able to do so much damage. And with the proper setup, they were able to have that impact that you're looking for. But when the rest of your team is falling like paper, it is really difficult for one or two members to truly shine in a way that the Landsharks were able to provide for.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you could really tell that they were really trying to push, really trying. And it's not like, what's it called? It's necessarily anyone's fault. It really just was, just wasn't their game. And there were a lot of encounters where very much Landstroke were very good at taking those opportunities and making it difficult for a lot of the folks in Dalhousie to really react and counter that. But I mean, still absolutely insane stuff. They Dalhousie still did a great job of holding their space when they could, of fighting back, and they were able to get some progress. It just wasn't enough to really turn the tides and put a stop to the land sharks, because again, because absolutely insane plays.
Yeah, and that's your peek at Group A for the Knights. We do have some more series coming up after this break. You're going to be looking at University of Toronto playing up next against wait, that's not right. Sorry. I lost my place. But University of Toronto versus GG, which is going to be Guelph University. I'm super hyped for that one. Local Toronto mans, as you all know. And then we're going to be following up with a third round in Group C. So that one is going to be coming a little bit later, but make sure you stay tuned and we'll be right back after the short break. Hello and welcome back. After a bit of an extended delay, we do have a bit of a change to our scheduling. We're going to see SFU run up against St. Clair Saints. Now, this is SFU Frost, so it's going to be a little bit of a different roster, but hey, you love to see some more representation for these teams. Now, I do want to, before we get back into the main part of the broadcast, want to extend a thank you to our sponsor for this stream. Is going to be BMO. To help you focus on what's important, BMO has checkings and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Open a BMO student account and get up to $950 in value, including $175 in cash. With BMO's current student offers, visit bmo.com/students for details. They also have a program called BMO Next Level. It's a first of its kind program dedicated to helping gamers level up in game and IRL. Run by Sean Frame, BMO's gaming relations specialist, Sean brings a commitment to helping viewers achieve their financial goals and has a passion for gaming as an active member of the gaming community. So make sure to type !BMO or !BMO NXT LVL for more details in the chat.
Amazing, exciting stuff. Yeah, thank you to BMO.
Yeah, and that prepares us to go up into this matchup, right? SFU Frost have an exciting roster to look at. They have a couple interesting pickups, right? Not having a dedicated, not having that many dedicated duelist players does stand out to me a little bit, Juice. You do see a lot of overlap between their tank picks and their supports. It's really a stack up of, okay, how many good players can we get on this team and how can we overcome some of the disadvantages that come with not really covering our entire role spread?
Yeah, I was gonna say this reminds me of the meta from before or like last season. I know, from my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more like a 2-2-2 across like our vanguards, our strategists, and our duelists. But this kind of looks more of like they would go for the 3 tanks, the 2 strategists, the 1 duelist type of move. At least that's what it looks like, because I am also caught off guard by that.
Well, we'll have to wait until we get into the game to find out for sure. But now looking at the St. Clair Saints, they are going to come at you with something a little bit more traditional, looking at a lot of that hard dive comp. I'm excited to see a Spider-Man come out if it does. Daredevil is another one of those characters where you've seen them a ton. You're not particularly excited to go up against them on the enemy team, but watching a good one can be pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, 100%. And again, like you were saying, the very traditional team. It very much reminds me of like the type of team comps you would see back in the early days, quote unquote. I know Marvel Rivals isn't that new of a game anymore, but you know what I mean. Like the Jeff, the Hulk, the Spider-Man. And I'm also very excited to see that Spider-Man. I love seeing Spider-Man players. So yeah, hopefully gonna see them in action. But like, yeah, definitely a lot of interesting stuff that we're seeing all across the board.
Yeah, and while we wait for our first map, so first map is always going to be domination, and it is randomized. There's going to be a certain degree of variance. Both of these teams very comfortable with the current meta. They're going to be able to adapt on the fly. Now, both of the teams are ready, and as we're about to go in, Juice, I mean, you were looking forward to that Spider-Man. You wanted to see some creativity coming out of St. Clair Saints. You know, is there any character in particular that you might want to see that we haven't gotten to so far?
Honestly, it really is mostly just Spider-Man. I feel honestly, we've seen a lot of the characters that I was pretty excited to see in action. Penny, we got to see Deadpool just for the sake of seeing Deadpool. I just think he's fun to watch. But like Penny, Parker, Spider-Man, I am like well, hopefully we see Spider-Man. Penny is always super fun to watch though. Yeah, I get maybe I feel like the huge contrast in like Penny players depending on like the rank you are, and I always feel like it's really interesting to see like what's it called, like obviously in collegiate, it's still pretty similar all across the board in terms of ranking, but like still like very like
Yep.
different ways you can play Penny in different ways that Penny can like kind of react and kind of like use her util because like okay, playing in bronze are going to definitely fall into her traps into, but like playing a little bit early on, like a lot of players are a little bit more wary of that type of thing. Not to diss bronze players, it's just like I'm very much bronze. Like yeah, I'm a victim of that, but like yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of different agility with Penny. But for now, I guess we'll see who will play as we see was the picks now, the hero picks for St. Clair and SFU Frost. And going in, we're seeing Wakanda again for our first map.
Running it back to Wakanda twice in a row. Hopefully, we do get to see all 3 points this time. I know both of these teams are pretty closely matched up on paper, and there are certain expectations that come out of them, right? SFU Frost, I'm looking for these big plays. I'm looking for that team coordination, and I really want them to prove themselves here. When it comes to the St. Clair Saints, however, you've already got a lot of that strong foundation in the back. We've seen this team; they have been proven and tested in a lot of your collegiate circuits, so they are definitely coming in here with an edge to start things off. Now, St. Clair Saints, they're going to ban out the Gambit, and the Frost retaliate here with an Elsa ban. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. I'm expecting to see some hyper specific protects here. If you really are committed to that, Jeff, however, if you're committed to that Venom, you're going to want to put something in here, and it's going to be that Invis instead.
Interesting play then, especially like you're saying with the hovers. And it
Yeah.
almost seems like they're kind of challenging each other with the hovers they're picking. Obviously 3 of St. Clair's it's mostly missing, but the 2 Jeffs immediately and already seeing a little bit of taunting it feels like with that Bruce, and I think that is Daredevil we were seeing, which not too surprising because that is their main, but yeah, as we're seeing the rest of the bands rolling up, and we're seeing Frost ghost over a few different heroes now.
Yeah, looking at the Venom ban is going to be one taken away from Just Done. Lord Venom, mind you. Now you have a Mantis ban come out too in retaliation. The Mantis is an interesting ban to pick out. It is mainly targeted at people who want to hyper carry. Right? Your Mantis will have a very easy time applying this 100% uptime damage buff to one specific DPS or another. So removing that extra utility and having a pretty good ultimate to boots is really going to hamper a lot of that solo carry potential from your opposing lineup. Now we do see 2 protects come through, Namor and the Groots. Having a Groot protect come through, pretty interesting. Somebody really likes their walls, and we got to keep an eye out this match for those big 5-6 man Groot ult plays.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of walls coming in our faces, in their faces. Hey, YouTube reveal, but going in for it now. Yeah, so far, pretty. It's okay, pretty interesting stuff that we're seeing so far. But yeah, I feel like overall with the game, like I know we're always like, yeah, St. Clair Saints, they're insane, they've been here forever, the first, but also kind of like, I mean, Frost already has some heavy hitter potential right now. We're seeing Luck in Spider-Man. Let's go! Let's go! Bring it back in the meta, please.
Oh, but it's a ban though. The Spider-Man ban last pick from Frost is a little BM. I'm gonna deny that matchup. I know you're so excited. You're almost there. I got sniped
I'm gonna
away.
go home. Oh man.
And we
I'm
also,
sure.
yeah, we also see the tank pool get banned out as well. Honestly, to be expected, making it this far into the draft is pretty unusual for him. So looking at both of these team comps, SFU Frost are gonna play something that we haven't seen too much of so far. It's gonna be a lot more of a brawl type play style. They're rolling out with Zeus on the Namor. You're gonna have Eshdog on the BP. You're gonna want to drag some of these fights out. Give your BP that opportunity to zig and zag and look for kills on their opponent. St. Clair Saints, they are giving us a little bit of a run back to the previous meta with some of those hovers. But what they're settling on here out of the gates is very typical dive slash pick comp, where they're going to play around that front line. They're going to look for those hooks from Bucky. They're going to try and get an advantage that way while the Daredevil running around.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're already going straight into it here with Squirrel Girl coming in, or not Squirrel Girl, sorry. Coming in right here with St. Clair Saints, already making it difficult to push that payload out. They are overwhelming. Going in from these angles were very much making difficult for Frost to really counter with that. And right now, really going at it with Doctor Strange, already launching a few of his util, launching but doing a great job. St. Clair Saints is putting up those walls, pushing them back, making it difficult for Frost to really make that much progress, and especially wiping them out completely. Very much St. Clair Saints taking a beautiful play right there.
Yeah, very clean cuts, very precise from the St. Clair Saints, losing 0 members. SFU Frost, remember what we said before, they're planning to destabilize them. They want to put them off their game, and an early swap is going to be in the cards. Ashdog moving over from the BP to the White Fox. They're running a triple support, double tank frontline. It wasn't quite what we were calling out in the pregame, but it is untraditional to say the least. Now, they are rotating up onto this high ground. The Daredevil did spot them out. They are going to be able to retreat to safety as the Frost make this rotate on the high ground.
Oh, 100%. It seems like right now, losing that high ground almost immediately, literally losing the high ground. We have Doctor Strange already going in, guns are blazing, absolutely swinging at the St. Clair Saints right now. Right, able to push his ground, really hold that ground, already getting not as many easy KOs as he did last time, but still managed to get a few pokes here and there, and already going at it. Looks like they really make sure to get that match point there. And really absolutely going at it right now. SFU Frost, they're pushing back. They're for now actually they're able to get a few hits on St. Clair Saints. Absolutely insane. Sorry,
the trades
are...
yeah, the traits are solid, but the Eye of Agamotto ultimately comes out, and they're able to do a lot of damage with it. The Invis ultimate as well carries through the point, and Frost find themselves in a difficult situation. They're not able to invest further to keep this fight going. 93%, and Frog Fanatic has just respawned. So this portal is going to come through a little bit late, and they don't have a touch. St. Clair Saints take this first point 100-0.
And that was kind of a brutal game from St. Clair Saints, even with everything we were saying about the meta, but still with their very traditional comp, because it seems like they were able to really hold their own, and really amazing plays, especially from the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I'm glad that you pointed out Clover's Doctor Strange. The Eye of Agamotto, they really won them that fight, and they did use a lot to get it. SFU Frost are coming into this now with 4 ults to their disposal. White Fox only 10% away, so almost 5. And they're going to have a really strong claim here to this point. St. Clair really going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat, especially since White Fox's ultimate, while it is a support ult, it's not that strong when it comes to turning the tides of these fights, when it comes to sustaining through a lot of these DPS ultimates. It doesn't really fare up because it's just providing your team with an additional tank to work with. The SFU Frost are stacking up, or sorry, St. Clair Saints are stacking up now, looking for a cheeky portal play. They're not going to be able to catch somebody off, and that's a really big cooldown and a lot of positioning against them.
Yeah, 100 is absolutely insane. St. Clair Saints already those ults have come in handy, already taking out a few of St. Clair Saints here, and right now still enough room for them to counter, but looks like St. FC Frost, they're holding out some of those ults for themselves, and for now just really looks like they may be planning something, spacing things out, but really that strat really worked out as they kind of managed to kind of still dull the blade of, like, or dull whatever St. Clair State's next strategy was, and still be able to keep pushing, going in for another team fight. Already going at it right now. Again, Doctor Strange is the one leading the charge, and really putting his all and taking that space from Frost, and able to really make some big changes.
The Frost trying to hang in there with all they've got. They lose one member in a 1-for-1 trade. The St. Clair Saints are looking with a vengeance. It's going to be a second 1-for-1 trade. It's a 4-for-4. It's going to be a third death for the Frost. Their grip on this point is starting to loosen. The Kraken Impact comes through and they're able to get one kill with it before the Bucky himself falls. The Saints, after an extremely messy fight, are able to wrestle it away from their opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be a great play, but I'm still already giving the Saints that space and able to make that process. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep that space for themselves. But now Frost has to worry about reclaiming that space. Not too much progress to really worry about changing the tides of the great game too much. But still, here a lot of impact that we'll still have to worry about here, especially now we're seeing now a group going in and trying to counter here with Frost, trying to push in, trying to take that space. But ultimately, just going for a few pokes here and there, and still managed to get one kill. Dr. Strange going in, taking another swing, getting a trade, as Frost trading one of the Saints. As they go in, next team fight, going in for a poke. Root is trying to really get the, trying to block the man so they can keep getting those encounters, get a few more hits in, but the Frost is able to kind of slip away and be able to escape St. Clair's wrath. But for now, looks like they may be chasing a little bit after them, or at least trying to keep that space and make sure that SCFU Frost doesn't come back way too soon. It looks like they are slow. They're teasing that entrance. They're waiting. They're ready to strike back. And it looks like right now they are striking back. And they are quite ready, especially the 3 ults that they have on their belt. As St. Clair Saints now has to try and go through and battle with Frost, already losing 2 members, a little bit more advantage Frost. The tides kind of turn and using their util, using it, and very much getting a kill. That was a clean shot over from SFU Frost, from Bucky, as they now have reclaimed the space for themselves.
Really good fighting there from SFU Frost. Yes, they did invest in the ultimates over St. Clair, but it was a 1-for-1 trade in terms of ults. Right, SFU Frost fought fast, they fought hard, and they were able to get that first pick onto a Groot, which led them to have this advantage. Now, both of them are very close to tied on point progress, but Frost, again, have the ultimate advantage. They've been in this position before, and they definitely like it as now they approach the point.
100%, especially now that St. Clair is contesting that space yet again, very close of putting the tides here, as SCFU Frost tries to make sure to punch to them out and make sure that they take that space. And it looks like now it's very, even as they whittle down one by one, still very much trading two for almost majority of the St. Clair's team.
Now, showing up in big form. I'm a little surprised to see the sudden shift. Now we see Strange teleport into this fight. The Daredevil gets earthbound into a true combo, taken out. You don't mess with SFU Frost because they're going to fight right back at you. The Invis ult gets off on the point, risking no bars, but ultimately one is going to fall through it. Now, SFU Frost are trying to drag this fight out as long as possible, trying to get the MS no ults, but they lose another in the Strange. And now with the group walls everywhere, there is nowhere that is safe. The mind control comes through and drags people towards their doom, is not able to find any kills. And St. Clair Saints, they managed to come out of this fight victorious.
Yeah, absolutely insane. It just seems like we've been seeing a flip-flop between the Saints and the Frost. Neither team really wants to let up right now. Then neither team is really letting the other team get a second to breathe, especially with those last few encounters where St. Clair Saints really went out here. But it seems like now we are seeing St. Clair Saints still very much comfortable in that space as they kind of push out a little forward to hopefully target them out, but still ultimately it will go to St. Clair Saints again.
All right, SFU Frost took a little bit of time to wake up, but they eventually got there and gave us a really solid second points. However, the St. Clair Saints, they're proven to us, right, why they are the de facto rivals team. They're established, they're here, and they were playing so consistently between point 1 and point 2 that you can't say otherwise. They deserved to get that first map win. Now, looking at the scoreboards, a couple standout players. That MVC from EpiPen Enjoyer, absolutely deserved. Going 19-2-19 on the Invisible Woman with 22k healing, the most in the lobby. That's an impressive feat, especially when you're looking at some of these opponents that that are running at you directly. When you have a Blade who, yes, is going to be spending a lot of time in that front line, giving you a lot of the bonus healing stats, is also able to turn it off with some of the anti-heal he provides. Being able to survive that long against him is pretty solid. And we also did see our fair share of Daredevils, which are Invis's worst nightmare.
100%. I mean, we get to see a little bit of how that kind of played out for them, but still ultimately like great work from everyone overall. SFU Frost putting up a great fight against the Saints, but ultimately still heading over to the Saints, but still as you said, they did a great effort. They did amazing, especially with the second VP going to Captain America. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and as you prepare for this next matchup, right, SFU Frost are going to have the ability to pick where they go next, whether it's on Convoy or Convergence. And I would really like to see this team take us to a Convoy map. Convergence, it has that capture point before you start to escort, which is good and all, but I think this team is really strong at, when they have the defense, holding it and defending really well. So introducing some of that structure is very good. And also having that extra mobility, having that extra space that a payload will provide you is really solid. Now, my main contender for this next matchup will definitely have to be Midtown. It just gives you so many opportunities, so many flank angles, and so many ways to dive on top of your opponents. It's definitely going to be a lot easier for you to say, I don't know, get on top of any Invis gals that are just hanging around and really hard to dive.
100%. And I feel like also with Convoy, for what we saw of how the last game played out, I think it definitely makes the most sense. Like in terms of for us, I guess, for our enjoyment. Like I do think it would be the more intense kind of setup and based on how both teams like we're holding their defenses and we're how very much like taking up that space, making sure that they held that control. Which, as you said, SCP Frost very good at defending, and I do agree. I do believe the Convoy would help out.
All right, and we have the next map confirmed. SFU Frost pick Hall of Dahlia, and it's a Convergence map, right? So we are going to have some of that mixed gameplay. Hall of Dahlia has, it's our second Wakanda map of the series, so that's one big thing. We're just running it back to back, and it's going to be a really big shakeup for these teams, because some of that variance that you get from the map states, whether it's throwing fire everywhere, whether it's low gravity, whether it's is just nothing at all, and you have to rely on your ability to play around these high grounds that are very highly destructible. It's going to take a lot of adaptation and work on the fly for both these teams.
So I'm hearing lots of space, a lot of room to jump around on the fly. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't know. Spider-Man's pretty good.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it could be kind of cool. Could be kind of fun. But yeah, so right now we're seeing Wakanda Forever, quite literally, as we're kind of going into now the hero picks, and I hope whoever is listening into my brain puts that Spider-Man pick for my enjoyment. But overall, still pretty excited to see what if there will be any changes, which I don't think there will be too big changes in terms of the team comp that we've seen already.
Yeah, you're gonna probably see more of a return to the status quo, right, Sinclair? They know what they like what they like, and there's nothing wrong with liking what you like. But when we go over to the Frost, being the team that is down now 1-0 in a BO3 series, you want to start to pull some extra tricks out of your hat. You want to try and force your opponent's hand a little bit, and one of the things that you're trying to do is add extra variance. Now, they seemingly disagree with my strategy here. We're choosing to repeat the same first two bans, right? We're getting rid of the Gambit, we're getting rid of the Elsa, and we're protecting the Daredevil. And Daredevil is such a key factor of dealing with this invis, getting on top of them and preventing them from playing the game. It's going to be a real difficulty for the St. Clair Saints to overcome if they are, married to it.
Oh, 100%, especially with the amount that we'll be playing in right now, or they'll be playing in right now. I'm sure that whatever they have in mind, it's going to be a little bit interesting decision to really stick it out with that Daredevil. But I have faith. I'm sure that I'm the problem here. But either way, I'm going into our next ban here from SFU Frost.
Yeah, so the titles are, the teams are flipped. So SFU Frost are on the red hand side, and it makes a lot more sense here when they are the ones banning out the Groot. St. Clair Saints were able to pilot it very well, so taking it out of the picture this early, having to remove a lot of that extra pressure and damage that those walls provide, is a really, really strong point for their team comp. You see the Venom get banned out again, another anti-dive pick. Magneto being protected is going to help serve to dissuade your opponents from picking any of those massive value ultimates, because he's just going to be able to pop his meteor and then crash it down on top of your head. Looking at you, Cloak and Dagger. Looking at the rest of these bans, we've got Tank Pool going out the way, and Mantis again really fearing this pocket on St. Clair.
I mean, I guess it really makes sense. Like, it seems to be, as you were saying, they were very much going a very traditional route, especially with the way this team comp is looking so far. I mean, Mantis is quite a scary force to deal with. So as a support, despite what's it called, the different buffs that you can kind of give the rest of the heroes. But yeah, I mean, still exciting stuff that we get to see from this game.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds.
Yep, rolling out of the spawn is the St. Clair Saints, and they've got a lot of what we expected, right? We called out that Daredevil being their protect is going to make a big impact. We have EpiPen Enjoyer back again on their invis, right? And we have the Moon Knight, who provides so much damage thanks to those onks. It is just a no-brainer when you're running into a team like SFU Frost and you're predicting what they're about to roll out with. It does a lot of damage to this Death Ball style team when you're all grouped together. Now the portal out onto the high ground is going to let SFU Frost cheat a little bit, because they're getting directly onto this high ground. They don't have to deal with all of that poke, and they're going to be able to circumvent a lot of that pre-established setup.
Yeah, 100%. So now kind of head into it is almost as playing it with that portal. St. Clair Saints has no point but to hopefully type and counter that. I'm still got a little bit of the upper hand with Hulk, but not enough damage will off of him for St. Clair Saints to be worried. But SFU Frost still going really at it and trying to really whittle him down, remembering the impact that he he has been having with his face. Like, he is quite a heavy tank, and right now we're seeing Squirrel going down, chasing them down, and it seems like right now Frost right now having to really fall back from the plan to really they still managed to roll down one of the members of St. Clair Saints, but as of right now, I'm still trying to push back, getting that space. Hulk coming back to counter, and mostly not super successful flank, but still some progress was made.
Yeah, able to trade back picks is always going to advantage the attacking team, because their spawn is so much closer to this point, and these trades are exactly what's allowing them to continue to buy more space for us, shutting down that White Fox, getting these stragglers. You see a Spider-Man finally on the Saints coming out to try to contest this attack, but he is getting poked out and prevented here. You see a portal rolling its way over to the point. It's not going to make it in time. SFU Frost are going to take first point in pretty good fashion.
It really does look like it, yeah. I mean, even though we didn't get to see that Spider-Man swinging, he was very much denying those chances, I guess. But still, amazing stuff that we're seeing from the Hulk, from his Strange, again, which I do, if for folks who have been tuning in earlier, is very much what we had our eyes on from last game. But yeah, being able to push up payload out St. Clair Saints really going, or SFU Frost, sorry, really going at it and amazing. Oh, there. Okay, being able to ground a lot of the team there. Still able to get a little advantage when you're having the upper hand with this encounter right now. Landing a bunch of hits right now. Oh my goodness, absolutely beautiful right now. Trying to fall back, but it looks like he's not gonna let him run away. He is very close to being knocked down, and he wants to take it. But now, so now it's his turn to run away now. But still, great stuff that we're seeing so far.
Yep, great fight initiation from SFU Frost, but they extended a little bit too far to follow up on the Agamotto, and ultimately ended up paying a dire price for it. Now, as you see Sinclair Saints going even deeper into their spawn as the Moon Knight pulls one.
Oh my goodness, going in and Paul uses his ult to really go at right now. My goodness, able to get a few kills or one kill right there. Not enough to really put down Frost though. They are still swinging. They're still very much going at it again. Wanting to take it, get some revenge and finish that earlier encounter and take down that Hulk. And now, but still putting down a few Frost's players down. So not necessarily a trade that was worth making 100%.
Yeah, what they're able to do, right, is able to get that payload all the way back into the spawn. It's right at the spawn gates at the moment. And the Sinclair Saints, they're not letting up at all. SFU Frost have 4 ultimates at their disposal, but they're still trying to find their way into finding them. And every time they're walking out of the spawn, they're getting caught or they're taking a lot of damage. But getting this kill onto this Moon Knight and popping the Hulk out of form is going to give them the opportunity they were looking for.
Oh, 100%. Looks like they are taking a little bit of the opportunity now as they really kind of go at it right now. Frost really trying to get a few hits there to Saints. I mean, even though a few of them are knocked out, still being able to keep the momentum they've established, and SFU Frost is able to start moving the payload finally after a lot of contesting and back and forth. But now it seems like there's actually some space to breathe and to move with that payload. Just for how long it will be, it looks like not too long now. As the Saints are already coming in to try and land a few hits, land a few kills towards Frost, and it looks like managed to get one kill, managed to get in a few hits. Now Hulk is back in action, trying to get a few swings in there. Dr. Strange trying to come in support, help give some support for his tanky Hulk, and coming in, able to get a few down from Frost, but they are still able to hold their own a lot better, especially now as they are very much abusing the utility advantage, able to keep up with that encounter Squirrel, and able to push them back just a little bit, but very much not looking great for Frost right now.
They tried to push out of their spawn. They tried to win this next fight, and even investing the ultimates to do it, the Saints are able to respond or retaliate in kind and actually able to win the fights on a lower ultimate economy used. So now they're setting themselves up pretty well for this upcoming fight. Although right as I say that, you'll see this Moon Knight get traded out. Zeus is able to shut them down, and SFU Frost again find themselves in a situation where they have an opening.
And they're very much using that opening to their advantage. Again, they are going, tanks leading the way, or Vanguard leading away, and really pushing through. Oh my goodness, knocking them down one by one, throwing them back, throwing it back, and very much so taking up that space. Sinclair Saints very much getting wiped out, not completely, but enough that Frost has left their mark on the map and are able to move the payload.
Yeah, definitely feels bad to be using the Kraken impacts that late on into the fight, denying yourself of a really big reset tool. You'll see another hero pulling back onto that Spider-Man. Wasn't needed, would have been able to make it back on Moon Knight, but making the executive decision to change characters. Now it's going to be a pretty dry fight. There are 2 ultimates on SFU Frost. The Sinclair Saints are running in with little to nothing. The Spider-Man is hunting down that back line.
And he is really trying. He is really going for it. And right now, we are seeing all of the fake credits actually really going for it now, especially with this encounter right now. Going in with their alt setting. Looks like they're the scrolls are absolutely going crazy right now, getting a lot of Frost in. And oh my goodness. What an insane game. It looks like that first game is going to SFU Frost.
Now, remind me if I'm wrong. We've seen this before, Juice. You have this team gets off to a rocky start, is able to push through, capture first point in pretty decent speed, but then gets really stuck after that, and you're not able to fully make your way over to second point. Now, that match did result in a loss for that team that was struggling to push through. Will SFU Frost deny that fate, though, is a whole other question entirely. Now, they do have an advantage here, being on this defense. We saw how unshakable they were once they were able to finally take the reins back on the Wakanda domination. It's going to be a hard ask, right, for them to hold this for the entirety of 4 minutes and then another 3 after that. But if anyone can do it, I believe in SFU Frost, the St. Clair Saints. They are hungry looking for this.
100%. The St. Clair Saints, they're hungry. They're insanely aggressive, and they're really coming out with the punches. But SFU Frost has done a great job of really knowing how to counter that, knowing finding the right spots, the right timings to really kind of dive in and wipe them out, or at least wipe out enough of the team that at least they can, the rest of them can keep pushing forward. And I mean, they're doing a great job of it. And even right now, as we kind of going into this next game, I do really hope that we maybe we'll go into a game 3, but hey, only time will tell right now, especially right now. We're going into it. Dr. Strange going into the battlefield right now, meeting up for his teammates and going at it, Daredevil, and it looks like the Saints coming in, trying to get a few pokes in, trying to get a few hits in, chasing them down, does not want to let them get away. They are very much gaining up on him, and they want to make sure to get that kill. They've already wiped out 3 of them. They want to get a few more, and very much so. It looks like they are slowly starting to spawn back in, and they're coming for revenge. But I think Saints pretty comfortable start to the game.
Yep, claiming that first fight pretty convincing fashion. The Strange Portal is deployed and provides another opportunity here for SFU Frost to come back and defend this. They're also already a better start with a 1-for-1 trade. Losing their magic a little bit early does hurt. You're lacking for damage as now the Mr. Fantastic is hunting down those kills, right? Losing your White Fox like that is going to sting. Now St. Clair Saints have to fight down 3, and ultimately the defense does come through.
Very much leaving them back now with 2 left. SFU Frost have very much more to really try and cut down, but not getting a full team kill. Still pretty good to have take down a lot of the St. Clair Saints. Very much holding the advantage, holding that space for themselves, and very much so being able to hold that space. Sorry.
Yeah, now the Saints looking for this re-engage. Hulk diving in deep, but SFU Frost have been scattered. They're playing well to counter it. We see the Daredevil now looking for their angle. It's going to pop their ults, and the Invis ult is able to slow things down from both of these teams. Here the brawl continues as White Fox charges forwards in Fox form. Still, nobody is falling yet. See the Fantastic ult pop through as well, hoping to add some extra displacement to this right. Looking deep into that back line. We see the Invis drop extremely low, goes invisible, but ultimately gets caught out. That's the pick the Frost we're looking for, but it's too little too late, as they've already lost 3 elsewhere in this fight. The Saints are able to cap after a pretty shaky first attempt. Now they charge forward triumphantly, attempting to succeed where the Frost had failed.
Oh, 100%. Very much the advantages with the Saints now, because they've been very much holding that payload for, it looks like well, very much looks like longer than Frost, so still very much holding the advantage against them. And right now SFU Frost will really try to contest, and hopefully they can, but right now, even as I kind of go in and charging in towards the Saints are very much spread out, and they're able to surround them quite easily. Very much difficult for Frost to really land some hits, but still very much so getting a few hits in, but no, it's not enough. It's very much not enough, as we are seeing them get pushed back more and more, and very much St. Clair Saints making it difficult for them to really do nothing but defend for themselves or run away, and making it difficult for Frost to really react.
3 minutes left on the clock and only 40 meters. St. Clair Saints, they have to play the long game on this one. We've seen how trigger happy SFU Frost have been in the past to spend their ultimates on fights. And given you have this luxury of time, you're going to have a lot of room to build these up. You see this magic looking here on that off angle, but Daredevil is a very competent 1v1er as well. We almost see the sides flip before St. Clair Saints, they take this engage deep.
Oh yeah, they are taking it very deep now. They're taking down majority of Frost, it looks like, leaving only 2 of them left to really defend for themselves. But Hulk going in with his guns blazing, and very much taking down more of Frost. That St. Clair Saints Hulk is very much someone I would not want to mess with, as now it looks like Saints has taken the second round.
Yep, solid team fighting there from both teams, but you see why St. Clair Saints are the de facto rivals team coming out with another victory. And they're setting themselves up well to go into the playoffs tomorrow. Seeding is based off of your position, so being in that top dog spot is going to guarantee you a matchup against that bottom seed. So looking pretty strong overall. Do want to shout out particularly EpiPen Enjoyer again. That Invis has put in so much work behind the scenes orchestrating this fight. I don't think that anybody else on this team could really shine brighter than that.
Oh, 100%. That Invis is amazing. There were so many opportunities where very much like their older util was used for their teammates' advantage, and like it very much shows with their 18 assists, which is insane. They did an amazing job, quite frankly.
Yeah. Now, as we prepare ourselves for this next matchup, we want to thank you all again for watching, and we also want to extend a thank you to our second sponsor of the stream, One of Zero. So One of Zero has supplied CIE with 6 gaming mice that make you better at what you do. Type !raffle in the chat on the main channel for a chance to win one of 6 gaming mice supplied by One of Zero. Code like a maniac, design like a guru, and game like an assassin. Take pride in your setup and look good while you achieve it all. Discover your inspiration, defy definition, be One of Zero. To learn more, type One of Zero, that is number 1 of and number 0 in the chat.
Yippee! Yeah, join that raffle, guys. Get your mouse. But yeah, absolutely great stuff that we saw from St. Clair Saints and from SFU, and absolutely exciting stuff that we'll see for the next group that we will see playing. As of right now, still unknown to us. It may be St. Clair Saints again. Most may not. Just may do some switching around, but it's okay. We'll still have a great game to show you, and we'll still have a lot of schools to show off for you. But yeah, I guess for now, we'll head into a quick break as we kind of catch up. So go do your thing, go get your snacks, go live your life, and we will see you in a bit. Hello, welcome back. We are heading into the third game of the day for our Marvel Rivals groups. Absolutely exciting stuff. We will be seeing University of Toronto Thunderbolts go against University of Ottawa. Now University of Toronto are coming fresh in from their last game where they 2-0'd Guelph Griffins. So already heading in University of Ottawa, the B team of this game, but very much still a lot of potential for both teams. Both have been previous tournaments where they ranked very, very well. And for example, I know University of Ottawa is still going strong with the NECC nationals going on right now, and U of T has been doing like placing fairly high in the past tournaments they've been doing, and clearly doing quite well right now. So fun stuff we can get to see from this game. But Spapples, what do you think you're excited to see with this game?
I gotta say, I gotta support the U of T Thunderbolts. Toronto, my hometown. I've got a lot of personal connection with it. And looking at that roster, I recognize a lot of the players. Now, this is the U of T B team. U of T Avengers is their A team. Gives them a little bit more of a chance, right? Why not put two teams under your own school? And now, looking in, we have the captain on the left-hand side. We have Mikey coming that up with Evie, Josh, Yaspo, Fat Pirates, and Sirio. You got a really strong core here. And like you mentioned before, going pretty far in the NECC. Looking good, no doubts. And when you look at the flip side, when you look at University of Ottawa, there are no slouches as well. Mr. Park is the captain for that team. We got DJ, Brusky, Danny, Hale, and Yuzu to back them up.
So I mean, so far we're seeing a lot of the same players in the meta. We are seeing a few newer, but I mean, a lot of Invisigirl, a lot of Doctor Strange, a lot of Jeff, a lot of Hulk, very much bleeding into the teams that we were seeing today. I'm seeing a few characters that we haven't seen make a presence yet, at least today. It's only the first day, too soon to say, but like Star-Lord, I think it would be interesting to see him in action. Just looking at their main picks or comfort picks right now. But I mean, hey, depending on, I guess, what map we might be getting for the first game, what may be happening. Yeah, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, but now the first match is underway. It's going to be a randomized pick here for domination. Going to go through slowly but surely, and we miss Wakanda by one. But no, we're going to go to Krakoa. And I got to say, Hellfire Gala is one of my personal favorite domination maps. It gives you so much opportunity to fight from these varying angles, and the teleporters that open up as the round progresses, as you reach capture points. It really keeps the map moving in new and unpredictable ways. So looking at these teams, you're gonna have a little bit less of an emphasis on the Strange. He's still gonna be really, really nice, but he might be one of those last second picks instead of one of the ones that you stick around with the whole game.
Oh, 100%. And it's funny you say it's one of your personal favorites, because this was actually one of the maps where, when I watched it, got me into Marvel Rivals because of the clip I saw, because of the lot of potential that, at least from what it looked like from that clip when I was a baby and didn't know anything, and was like, wow, there's a lot going on. But like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot you can really do with this map, and especially with, although I'm not super 100% up to date with the meta, I would guess that there's a lot of potential for the dive meta to really pop off here. But now going into our first few bands.
Ottawa with a little bit of a demonstration here. I'm sorry, buddy, but Black Widow is not going to be buffed or made viable in any way, shape, or form. I think that would be a pretty horrendous outcome for the current meta. But looking at these bans, House of Bloodstone taken off the board first. Okay. Daredevil follows it up after. Another solid ban. But then the Gambit gets protected. So for the first time this night, we're able to see him get picked, guaranteed. In retaliation, the Mantis Protect comes through as well. And we see a Loki ban from University of Ottawa. Okay, you can give him the Gambit, but you can't give him the copy, because Loki in combination with Gambit can still, to this day, be a really degenerate combo, where you're just feeding so much ultimate charge through your team, doing so much extra damage. It's just constant spam and can really, if you have a good Loki player and if you have a good Gambit player, you can completely take over a game from that backline. Now looking further, we got an Ultron ban. Going to be a Rogue Protect and a Punisher Protect. Punisher and the Mantis in combination are super powerful. You're gonna be able to reach a lot of damage breakpoints you couldn't have before, not only with the rifle but with the shotgun. Like we said before, the shotgun has been really powerful as people are rediscovering the long forbidden arts of the beta dive Punisher. And you also combo that up with a White Fox ban and a Cloak and Dagger ban. You've banned out like half of the support roster and selected 2 that will most likely be played here nonstop.
Oh, 100%, especially Mantis and Jeff. I know they aren't 100% like, ooh, the best support in the meta, but they're still pretty very much heavy hitters. And I have a feeling we're gonna find out why Gambit, why Mantis, why they keep getting banned in the past few games as we kind of see them go into action and roll out into the map.
Yeah, looking at the team comps, we see that tank pool come through. We see the Gambits as well for UFT Thunderbolts, and it is going to be a triple tank lineup on the left-hand side of the screen. And then looking at University of Ottawa, they got a similar idea, but flipped the opposite direction, where they're opting into 3 supports. You got the Gambit, the Jeff, as well as the Mantis. That's just how powerful Gambit can be. Even if your team comp, even if your game plan is surrounding something a little bit different, you're still fitting in that 3rd support just because having his utility is that strong. Now both of these teams, as they're about to clash head to head, I'm expecting big moves here from Ottawa, especially since they're coming out a lot stronger than a 0 upgrade Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Thunderbolts will really counter that player now, even as they, I guess we'll see as they go straight into it. Deadpool going swinging, Thunderbolts very much getting already getting taken down, but it's not going to stop them. They're still swinging, they're still able to really keep returning some of those shots, but University of Ottawa is very much pushing them back to getting that space and controlling it very easily, getting control of the space in fact, and even taking out one of the Thunderbolts players to boot. Still, it was a decent trade, but still enough where we are still seeing Thor very much going off and very much helping them reclaim that whole space for them.
Now, one of the strengths there of the triple support lineup, you're able to pump so much healing through your composition. If your Gambit is not focused firing through targets with the rest of your team, you are going to have a really bad time. So Ottawa claiming that first point, able to take up a lot of percents. Meanwhile, Thunderbolts, they're in a tough situation. This Daredevil, or no, the Deadpool needs time to skill. He's trying to afford those upgrades, but that time is not being given to them as Ottawa are trying to choke them out.
And they're very much doing a great job choking them out, at least in this very moment, or at least trying to, as they are getting pushed into the very last second, and now very much wiping out for a majority of the team. Thunderbolts being able to now instead take control of this space, and hopefully very soon gonna get the pick percentage up for them, as and very much overcoming that 50% University of Ottawa have, and hopefully they'll be able to hold up space, but I'm sure it won't take long for Ottawa to contest it.
Yeah,
already going straight into it seems.
Yeah, there's that Royal Flush that we talked about before, and now Ottawa are going to have the opportunity to use it against the Thunderbolts. Now some clever placement will be able to help them out as the Punisher ult comes through, powered by the Gambit and by the Mantis. That's a lot of extra damage coming your way, and it's able to cut down the Invis, cut down the Magneto, and yes, they're able to trade out that Punisher, but the damage has been done. You cannot bring your friends back to life. Only the clock can, as Thunderbolts fall one by one.
And very much so, and still most likely will happen sooner again than we expected. As we can see, Ottawa is starting to hoard 3 of their ults, and I'm curious to see how we're gonna play out. But for now, I'm very much comfortably aligned in their spot. I'm very much not having to worry about doing too much right now. And even as Thunderbolts try again to contest that space now, hoping to get back to progress that they put in. But for now, really trying to go at it. Still, I'm failing to get a few hits this and getting a kill instead of getting picked off themselves, but still trying to really push at it right now. Seems like they're trying to throw in some hits, able to get into the space itself, and two of them coming in, hopefully surrounded. Jeff Ult coming in. Great use of the Jeff Ult. Looks like he will try. Oh, okay. Not surprised to see that play with the Jeff Ult dumping majority of the Thunderbolts team out, leaving three of them out to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, tossing that roll off the map wouldn't be enough, so Jeff takes a leap of faith, trusting the rest of the team, and that's one of the things that you can do when you're running this triple support lineup. You're able to just leave the rest of your team to fend for themselves. They've still got 2 supports, 2 tanks, and 1 DPS. Sure, why not? So University of Ottawa claim this first point, and going into next, there's not too much of an advantage at the moment either way. Thunderbolts are very close to having their Gambit ult, their Invis ult, 2 very powerful support ults. But Ottawa, they have shown us that they can take their time. They can get their ultimates farmed up, and once they do, once they have those deadly combinations, they are going to melt through you with their coordination, with their stacking. Right? And no counterplay on the U of T side is going to be able to match that. We gotta pause. I didn't know we could pause in Rivals.
Doesn't make either of you any less guilty.
We just want to say hi.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hope you like what you saw.
3, 2.
Oh, I'm sure they loved it.
But yeah, I'm going straight back into it. My goodness. As you were kind of saying, like Ottawa very much being kind of a slow burn team. I'm very much good at making those big changes later on in the game, it seems like, and going again, it looks like Thunderbolts and Ottawa already quick to start that team fight. Already going swimming Deadpool, trying to get a few picks off. Kind of throwing his util in there, throwing their util, pushing them back through the portal. Absolutely crazy move. And really going at it. They're moving farther away, but it's so they can have a room to a util push them back, and able to really Thor going off right now, and getting beautiful setup right now against the Thunderbolts. And it very much, they are not giving them a chance to breathe right now. They are not giving them any chance to really react. Instead, they're really just happy to defend in this very moment. But still defending quite well. And being able to hold up their own quite well, even as they're kinged up, and trying their best to kind of run away from the exchange. But they are not letting up. They are very much going in, guns are blazing, and they want to knock them down.
That early portal onto the Thunderbolts really made the difference. Danny was able to set up his team for success, and you see all of those ultimates the Thunderbolts are sitting on that they can't spend yet, because as soon as they lost a member, that fight started to become not worth it, and Ottawa built up a lot in that extra time that they afforded themselves. 5 ultimates in their back pocket, and while Thunderbolts, they're still walking through with just the 2 that they had before, plus the mag. Jeff not gonna pick anyone up and almost dies as a result, but manages to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably take a little bit longer to kill off Mantis that easily, especially with all that heal that she's really able to contribute, like, in this moment of the team right now. As he kind of gets as he goes flying in the space, able to pick out a few of them, able to get a few hits on all at once. Being able, Gambit really proving how he is a threat even on his own, and not just with his abilities, and very much being able to push them out of that space. And now University of Ottawa has now taken, not University of Ottawa, Thunderbolts will take control of the space now, and still not enough for Ottawa to really get worried, but still definitely enough where they have to react and start pushing, which we are seeing a little bit right now. They are both kind of teasing that push there, but neither is going to engage just yet. They may be waiting for the right moment.
The striker taking a bit of a stroll there, just chilling in their lawn chair. until the rest of the team is able to arrive. They have 77%. All they got to do is win one more team fight, and then they'll be back in the position that they so desperately crave. You know, they pick up there onto the road, follow that up by a Thor alt might cement the Thunderbolt's fate. It's going to be 3 stuns into an invis, getting eaten up. You're not going to be spit out to safety anytime soon, as the Gambit is left out to dry. Ottawa got a really fast cap there, and it's going to give them a lot more pressure. Sirio needs to drop that portal there onto the point and give his team a chance at success.
100%, and they're very much taking that chance right now, going in again with a similar portal strat that we saw earlier. I'm trying to go in to contest and take that space, very much getting very easily being able to push them back, and being able to take up a lot of space, not take quickly moving up, as now Ottawa has thankfully wiped out a lot of the team and has now taken the second game. That's 2
Ottawa.
for
Sorry, Ottawa able to claim 2 maps on that first game, securing themselves. Thunderbolts, they fought well. It's the closest domination match so far. But Ottawa, they were just able to pull ahead through that coordination, through that game plan that they had going into this, right? Triple support did them so well. We highlighted the differences between these 2 comps, and I really do think it mostly comes down to that. Look at the amount of damage that Bresky was able to pump out. 20,000 in total, which just dwarfs what University of Toronto were able to pull out on We Want Mikey. Yeah, we do understand that Star-Lord is a bit of a different style of character. It's not as much focused around just the raw numbers, but I think the point still stands. And when you're the team that's doing that much damage and you've also got a support advantage, you're gonna have a really hard time trying to hang with them.
100%. I mean, like, still, like, for what it is and for how everything worked out, they still did a great job of pushing through and countering where they could. Sure, there were some slip ups here and there, but really, I think it's just Ottawa was very, 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 very aggressive, and were able to kind of counter that very tanky lineup very well, especially with the way all the supports mesh together, especially like Gambit, and still very much getting their use out of him, despite him not placing super high in the leaderboard, but still very much he did still do pretty well with when 14-19, still pretty good, especially for support role. And again, but how we'll see why Gambit isn't really why Gambit seems to be banned a lot more often within these games. So I'm sure you can really imagine what this could have looked like if Loki was in the team.
Yeah, it just wouldn't have been pretty at all. You would see just 10x that. Is oh boy. So preparing ourselves here for this next match, I'm really expecting the ban strategy to differ, right? These teams, they did something a little bit experimental. Ottawa were trying to cheat it out a little bit, right? Toronto we're trying to cheat it out a little bit, where Ottawa banned the Bollock standard. Okay, we'll get rid of Elsa. We'll try to handshake the Elsa Gambit. But then Toronto said, no, we're going to choose to ban out this Daredevil, and we're going to protect the Gambit. And ultimately, it ended up backfiring against them, because that extra variance that they added to the play, the Gambits being in the picture, enabled the triple support to work in that same way it did. Now, I don't think that would have made the entire game play out the same way, but I do still think that Ottawa had presented to us that they are, a cut above at the moment.
100%. And I mean, I imagine there was probably a little bit of the advantage of the fact that as U of T kind of took last game and kind of were probably a little bit exhausted, and University of Ottawa, coming in fresh. But now we got in our next map pick for the game. Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be Convoy on Yggdrasil Path. Another first one for the stream tonight, and it's an exciting one. Yggdrasil is traditionally a very long open map. You do have some bunker strategies that you can use here or there that can sort of cheese out some time, but it was really popular during our previous poke meta. So seeing dive get adapted on top of it is going to be a bit of change of pace, unless there are mostly dive heavy bans in this prep phase. You're probably still going to see it regardless. Now, I'm the first one you want to call up if you want to do a hella no more team up and you want to bring out those radioactive squids. That's a-okay with me.
Okay, Bet, let's get some radioactive squids in here. Let's just kind of live our lives. Let's just see how far we can go with the squids. No, but yeah, fun stuff. Seeing breaking the Wakanda streak and instead going for Flora here, I guess. Very fun stuff. I'm excited to see how, like as you were saying, the dive meta will kind of play out with Yggdrasil path, which from my memory, I am also struggling to think of like opportunities to exploit that dive meta. But I do. There's always potential. There's always, especially the game of Marvel Rivals, there's always potential. The question is what that potential will look like as we kind of see the hero picks coming up. And I would also like to add, I think the bans are probably try and be more targeted this time, and going for the mass Black Widow ghosting again is crazy.
Look, okay, we get it, guys. We get it. You like Widow, but she's not gonna find her way back into the picture, okay? Spoiler alert. She's out. She's been out of the picture since Endgame. Okay, I'm just saying.
she's walked far away from the picture. She's in a different planet. She's I don't know. She's shy. She's so shy that she disconnected the game, and it just be like that.
Yeah.
But it's okay because that just means you get to look at our faces some more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty. So as we prepare ourselves to go back in, we got a teeny tiny little bit of a glimpse there. I think that was an Elsa ban. So University of Ottawa, trusting as always, they want to give us another chance. They want to say, hey guys, I know I kind of noticed you guys didn't Van Gambit that last time, and it worked out great for us. So if you guys want to protect it again, that'd be pretty cool, I think.
Would be pretty nice if we could keep that Gambit. I don't know, like I don't know. I think the meta pretty worked. The supports were pretty cool. I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I find it interesting. Already, kind of your prediction seems to be pretty spot on, even though that was just one ban. But like it seems to be kind of like I think it's safe to say that they would be following that trend. But for now, we can only use our imagination as we kind of push through this tech difficulty. But we'll get back to it soon. We can still kind of talk about Marvel and Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. That is what I'm here to talk about. Yeah, they get crazy. I don't know. I just want to say I appreciate the Thunderbolts and Avengers theme that U of T has for their A and B team. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, now that the players are finally loaded back into this lobby, we're able to go on with the ban phase. It's going to be University of Toronto Thunderbolts here with the next pickup. And I don't know. What could we see?
I don't know, guys. Could be anyone.
Yep, and it's going to be a tank pool. Actually, it was a Daredevil ban first into a tank pool. Leaving Elsa open for the pickings. I'm here for this.
Yeah, interesting news. I don't... Actually, no. Actually, that does make sense to go for that Daredevil ban right away. I want to see who they pick to save. Especially since Thunderbolts went for Elsa. Ottawa could be their chance to go for Gambit again.
Oh, so previous strategy was, sorry, the teams are flipped again. So it's going to be another protect from Ottawa onto that Punisher. They're able to get away with it scot-free again. Hopefully, yep, there's a Mantis, a ban from Toronto, making sure they don't get that team comp quite the same way. And a Magneto protect to make sure that the Meteor is always available for them to use. We see a Gambit ban come out relatively late, still before the second protect phase. And I want to comment a little bit more on Elsa. Elsa's still open, and if you guys aren't familiar, Elsa does a lot of damage, a lot of really, really solid damage in close range. And the ultimate is able to pull you out of a lot of traditional portals. If you got a Luna Snow, if you got an Invis, if you got, I don't know, almost even a Gambit ult, because it doesn't have that much defensive utility, you're going to be able to be plucked right out of that, delivered into her jaws, and then the amount of just cleave one-shot damage that she does is going to eat you guys alive. The next up, Protects, are going to go out onto Cloak and Dagger and onto Phoenix. Phoenix is another interesting choice. I think that given the nature of this map, we're probably going to see her get played quite a bit. That vertical mobility, as well as just her ability to apply those marks, do a lot of good damage. If you're running into a or a suspected triple tank like Toronto have been running before, it can give you a lot of extra power. Now you see the Thor band come out as well, and the Groot. Okay, we have a full picture of this draft. I think both of these teams, shocking or not, are gonna try and stick with the same game plan they had last time.
100%, especially with these bands were quite targeted with a lot of I mean, from especially in the main we saw last game, but also like with their usual plays, it looks like that we kind of saw. So seeing them pivot quite quickly here and going for the raccoon, for Rocket, Rocket pick here instead of Black Widow. Seeing them kind of go into a University of Ottawa and Thunderbolts. Exciting. So we got a Loki pick. I missed that completely. So we got a Loki pick for Ottawa, it looks like. And it looks like I also see Winter Soldier for Thunderbolts as well. I'm seeing a lot of not comfort picks, but like in a way safe picks, I guess you would say. But Shuffles, you would definitely know better than I do.
3, 2, 1.
And I do think you've hit the nail on the head mostly. You see a little bit of a return to that classic 2-2-2 style of drafting. Now Storm is a little bit more of a support damage hybrid, able to buff the entirety of the team to do more damage. It helps you serve as a little bit of a replacement for that Mantis that you lost, that you're still undoubtedly sad about. See the engage though coming through from the Thunderbolts as they're able to pick up 2.
Yeah, very much so. Actually going off in this team fight here at the convoy. Would very much taking that space. Thunderbolts being able to push them back. Ottawa trying to push them back from their attempts, but very much they're very much succeeding in making that space and having room to maybe run away from the encounter. But they're very much trying to keep pushing and pick them off and really trying to lay out progress with the convoy. With the hello. But anyways,
With the payload? Yeah.
with the payload. Hello. I stumbled with my words, but it's okay. I'm shy. But right now we're gonna go straight into it here. Stopping to the first checkpoint. And this is really where it's gonna matter, where we start seeing who gets picked off and what. And as Ottawa really going straight into it. Wow. With that with that skill. Really doing a great job of really knocking them down. Thunderbolt's already 3 down. Now 4 down. Very much taking over that space. Wow, and doing a great job of holding their own and being able to take them down.
Now, strong ability to push their advantage. University of Ottawa are able to clap back there at that last second before Thunderbolts do any permanent damage. No, Thunderbolts, they do have the Kraken effect. They have the Phoenix Force. They have almost all of their ultimates online. Wouldn't do much justice here to name them all, but we see a big fork here come out from Bucky. It doesn't result in any kills. A lot of ults do get popped early.
Yeah, very much so, and Los Thunderbolts still holding on to the rest of their team ults here, but still very much Ottawa pushing and very much using their ult to advantage, not giving them a chance to really let up. Still trying another attempt to maybe push an ult from Thunderbolts. It looks like, but will it do much? It does, wiping down 3 of Ottawa's members. Well, so 2 of Thunderbolts are down, but very much an equivalent exchange almost of ults in a way, as they keep Sorry, little tech difficulties on our side, but very much as they keep holding strong.
Yeah, it's an interesting use there of the Storm ultimate. For a long time, I thought that once Storm has been figured out, never mind, it's going to be a portal coming through for the defending team. Ottawa tried to touch this, tried to recontest, but Thunderbolts, they still have way more ultimates in the tank. The Phoenix ult comes down, and it is going to spell their demise. Continuing this fight further will only result in more loss of life as the Thunderbolts, they claim that first point. So, all right, trying to get back a little bit to what I was talking about before. I thought that the days of getting triple kills on Storm ults were long gone, and she was more so reserved now to being an ult farm bot. And with your advantage, you're trying to place yourself on top of that backline and drag out a support ult or just stagger them further. But seeing it brought out that way and getting so much effective damage is definitely inspiring, to say the least.
Anyone willing to help?
Oh.
Much better.
Now I see Toronto Thunderbolts continuing to fight for the advantage on this point. Ottawa holding steady though, able to push them back around this corner. Both of these teams have ults at their disposal, but they're not able to push ahead. The Thunderbolts ultimately end up losing their Bucky thanks to that disapproving wall from the Cloak and Dagger. And this fight turned into ult farm is going to prove disastrous for Thunderbolts as they've let a significant ult lead fade, and now everything comes down to this fight. And Punisher ult gets ripped, and this ult comes down on top of it, but University of Ottawa able to claim 2 lives, make that 3, and Thunderbolts are sent reeling back to their spawn. As this fight gets closed out, Ottawa, looking at that time bank, have a minute and a half left to hold. It's going to be a little bit comfortable, I'd say, considering the circumstances they find themselves in.
Yeah, sorry about that. Little difficulties on my side. But still amazing progress that we are seeing so far right now, as they advance the payload even more and be able to take up his encounters. But keep going forward, going and throwing in about a few ults here and there. I'm being able to wipe down a lot of Thunderbolts right now, and very much making it difficult for that payload to really keep pushing right now. But and very much holding their ground. They've had that space. But for now, we're going to take a little bit of a quick pause because we're having a little bit of issues on our side. But like, it's okay. We're just a little shy. I had some issues. Tech had some issues. It just be like that. But it's okay because we're here to like talk about Marvel Rivals, and honestly, very intense game that we've been seeing so far as Baffles.
Yeah, it's been a game of ups and downs. We've seen the way that the Thunderbolts able to continue pushing through their opposition, able to fight after fight, preserving their ultimates. They're doing good work to get some of these wins, but it gets dragged out by so much. Ottawa are very comfortable playing out that clock. And when it comes to Convoy, when you're trying to push this payload through, they're draining it so much that Toronto have to win 2, maybe even 3 fights in a row to make up for all of that lost time. Getting put in a position like that, you can come back from it once, sure, like we saw in first points, but to do it again and to expect it from your team, for that to be the default game plan, I think that's a little bit scary.
100%, because it's really just like as you said, very comfortable waiting for that clock, very comfortable making those, being very, very aggressive towards our Thunderbolts right now. And really, I think it'll be a little difficult for UFT to really turn the tide at this point, at least based on how their team comp is kind of like mixing in with Ottawa's. But I still a lot that can happen. Maybe they go into overtime. You never know. That is a possibility. But as of right now, Ottawa is going very strong and heavy, and Thunderbolts is I mean, they're doing a great job of countering, but like it's still a lot. There's still a lot to really fight through, and they're slowly working their way out of it. They're slowly getting familiar with how Ottawa kind of is. But as of right now, I guess really only time we'll see. I guess how the rest of this game plays out.
Yeah. So as we're coming back from this pause, a bit of a reminder of where we find ourselves. The University of Ottawa are holding this defense strong after the first points. We see ourselves at a minute and 30 seconds remaining on this offense. Thunderbolts really need to do their best to push through and break down these barriers that are set up in front of them. Partially, it's due to the way that Ottawa are playing these fights so slow. Every single fight that has erupted so far has been empowered by some ultimates because you're giving so much extra prep time. It's like you're playing dive, it's like you're playing poke, but everyone is just standing, mere meters away from each other. So giving them that extra time is, I think, the real deciding factor here.
Sorry about that. A little pause there on our own side. But yeah, very much so. Very insane stuff, I think, that we can definitely expect, period. But yeah, like coin flip if it goes into overtime, quite frankly. But yeah, I guess right now we will find out the answer to that as we dive back into the game.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you, Juice, right? So what is your primary game that you say you would play currently? Well, never mind, because we're coming out of this pause.
You'll never get to know. You'll have to imagine it, because right now we're going straight into it. And but going straight into it, and we are really going at it. Yeah. It's one way to play it, but yeah, already getting our ults, already pushing them out with the University of Ottawa, and already really taking that space of that payload right now, even as we're seeing Black Widow, as the University in Toronto tries to prove us wrong and show her off right now as she slowly creeps in and tries to land it in. Okay, so it seems like it's up right now with Ottawa seems to be doing a good job at scouting how Thunderbolts is spread out and is sticking together as they kind of try and push them out. And even now, as they try and break formation from not sticking together session, they're still doing a great job of really catching up to each other, supporting each other in this very moment. We're seeing Black Widow really going in at it, very much staying within for the team, but also giving a lot of support into how this exchange will play out. Even here, we're seeing going in, getting a few, getting much needed damage onto Ottawa right now. But very much, yeah, it's very even right now. It's a lot of back and forth. We're seeing a few down tier. We had a trade from Ottawa and Thunderbolts, but nothing too insane. There's very much very, very sweaty for both of them. But it seems like right now Ottawa is slowly falling, but not too much. There's a lot to kind of keep up with for both sides.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to keep up with. Right, you see University of Toronto, they have their backs thrown against the wall, and they always perform best when they're in these spots. We're talking about sustainability here, where you have to go the distance. Yes, Toronto able to claim the second point by the skin of their teeth. But Ottawa, they can't keep letting them get away with this. We have a minute and a half left for the Thunderbolts to push this to its conclusion. What are we looking for here, Juice?
I think it's really just, it's Ottawa really has to find the right opportunity if they want to get the game back into their favor. Really have to find opportunity for whenever the Thunderbolts really have those like aggressive plays, and they really try and like take advantage of, as they are doing right now with the payload. If they can find those right opportunities for them to strike, but like it seems like Thunderbolts is very good at staying spread out and then pushing in together as a team. And Ottawa seems to congregate a lot into the same spaces, and they do push them as a team, but not in the same fashion. They're kind of the opposite. They're kind of like, it seems like they're kind of what's it called, are kind of like pushing out together. And as you can see now, it seems to be having a first spread out approach, it looks like has kind of benefit the Thunderbolts more, as they kind of are able to, Ottawa's barely able to kind of like push in as much as they probably wanted to right now because of all the space that Thunderbolts was able to take up. And now again, getting a decent amount of pokes here, nothing too insane. It seems like they're both kind of just teasing and dancing around each other, unless something super insane will come in, like these two ults coming in right now from Ottawa, and one from Thunderbolts. And it seems like right now it's very much working to their favor and for Ottawa's favor right now, as now Thunderbolts are very much struggling to counter that and have no choice but to kind of flee and fall back. But the Ottawa is very much not letting them fall back, as now only two of them are left, so hopefully one of them now to hopefully pick up the pieces of their team.
Yeah.
It looks like there won't be much to pick up, as now
Ottawa are able to hold the defense at that very last line. If you're the Thunderbolts, you're going to be happy with that one, because you have made your mark and you've made it as easy as possible for you to defend. Now, the only thing more that you could ask for here is to take it to the full distance, take it that extra 20 meters and get that overtime proc. But all things considered, for the hardships that this team has faced, this is their best case scenario. Now, Ottawa being flipped over to the attacking side, they have a lot of questions here to answer. Are they going to stick with the same team comp? Are Thunderbolts going to show up in form this time? Because we've seen historically Ottawa have been strongest on their defenses, and to see it crumble in a way like that is a little unnerving, to say the least.
It's just a little unnerving, just a little bit, but yeah, I mean, still doing a decent job, or a good job of like being able to hold up as much as they can. And I feel like the attacking side will probably benefit Ottawa a lot more, considering how they kind of like to push out their plays, or push out very aggressively, and how the way they work as a team, especially with this team comp. So I feel like it actually may work out for them this game. I'm seeing how it all plays out, and as you can see, I'm going kind of not sure, teasing a team fight in this very moment, very much going straight into it though. And doing a great job pushing them back. They want to make sure they get that payload moving. They do not want to have anyone really get in the way of that, really marking their territory here. As they now, with a Black Widow coming in, guns blazing, Thunderbolts trying to really slow down any progress, or slow down any progress or any attempts to really push back right now. As right now, really, Winter Soldier trying to kind of go in and poking here and there, mostly kind of jumping around, nothing super intense being played up right now, because I think it is a lot of just dancing around each other and trying to get those pokes in.
Yep. Doing some good damage here. The dive ultimately doesn't result in any kills, and it's going to be the Venom from the Thunderbolts that does fall. In Ottawa taking this push, trying to drag it as far as possible. They were so close to getting their ults on the line, but in the middle of this scuffle, the Invis ends up dying in that back line, and now down such a significant amount of heals. Ottawa are forced to overcompensate with their ultimates. They got the Punisher ult, but he's not going to be able to cut through the Magneto shield. There's so much healing in his face is going to be completely absorbed. The Storm ult crashes down on top of this fight. There's going to be invis to nullify it, and the meteor comes through, and Ottawa finally able to claim this kill onto the cloak and dagger. They push themselves further with another 3, and the meteor does come through, but it was far too little, too late. Ottawa claimed the first point.
Very much changing the tides in terms of how this round has been going out so far. It seems like Ottawa is very much doing a lot better in this in the attacking side right now, of having that full control of the payload. And it seems like I'm not committing to every single one sitting or standing on top of the payload. It looks like they may be just trying to kind of prepare for anything that may happen. As of right now, where Thunderbolts is trying to really intercept it and trying to get some trying to get some hits in, and it seems like it was probably a smart move to have not all of them commit to that payload, as they now are able to kind of push through and hopefully get Thunderbolts in, getting a few shots in, able to even as South Widow tries to get in that dive, able to get a few 3 kills. So great work from Black Widow with that ult, and Bucky trying to able to whittle out Ottawa and has taken them down fully. A very much a quick change of the tide yet again after that success from earlier from Ottawa, because now Thunderbolts very much so in their favor in this moment.
Yep, 5K from Serio standing proud. Gotta be happy with that one. It's definitely a montage play if I've ever seen it. Going into this next fight, we see Ottawa on the cusp of having some of their key ultimates, and they're going to pop them as soon as they get it. The Punisher cuts through the invis veil and finds 2 kills, finds the 3rd, and Ottawa are not deterred. Ottawa will not be slowed down. Ottawa will march towards the second point.
I've always been a heavy hitter.
You're very much to giving them a little taste of their own medicine and going for almost a clean team wipe, but still nonetheless one that kind of left them at a huge disadvantage, and very much just seeing how much of this game has been up to fate. It looks like, as it seems to flip-flop back and forth a lot between Ottawa and Thunderbolts. Neither team is really going to give it up, and neither team is really going to let the other team make any progress. As right now, like each single time, like they are throwing their walls out, they're launching their ults, they are throwing their utility, they are making sure that neither person from either side of the team is really getting any progress in, and it's really just constant back and forth like we're seeing right now. Like it's absolutely insane. It's getting a few points in as they try Thunderbolts trying and to run off and make sure that more of them don't get picked off than they do, but still only 2 or 3 of them left to really hope and pray as University of Ottawa are able to advance the payload even more and taking that next point.
And those dagger kills doing wonders for Ottawa as they continue to progress this payload around the first corner. Things are getting tight, and Thunderbolts, they got 3 minutes that they have to stall out if they want to stay in this series. Now the Moon Knight ult crashes down on that backline.
And going in guns blazing, going in, throwing every single thing he can out there, but it seems to be wiping them out still one by one until only one of them is left. Punisher left to really hopefully just run away and just try and survive until the rest of his team can come back and hopefully help him out a little bit. But for now, Thunderbolt's very much taking that payload, being able to push it forward, but still having a few tricks up his sleeve as he tries to throw some things their way, even though he's on his own with the payload. And still hopefully he will be able to last long enough for his team to kind of get him as they try and put everything they can towards him. And it seems like now it definitely was enough time of everyone coming in to some support, some of them getting immediately wiped out yet again. And it seems to be Thunderbolts is not letting out their Bucky bars, especially is really pushing them down, getting their hits in, and very much getting them all. And in this payload, it's only been a few minutes, and this payload has only moved a few centimeters at most. They are not letting up other teams. It is just constantly going. And neither don't want to lose. Understandable. Going into ult, insane tornado, like their NATO ult, already swiping them up and putting them all in one space where it's really difficult for them to like, move around. And instead, they're just throwing in all the one after the other, one by one, really throwing it and making it difficult to move a Briar team. Instead, getting some revenge this time as they kind of throw in, as they immobilize a lot of the Thunderbolts and try and force them out. And instead, are able to get the payload for himself successfully and have yet again turned the tide again. Turn the tide of the game again for Ottawa.
And there you have it. Ottawa stand triumphant over the UFT Thunderbolts with their 2-0 victory. It's been a night of 2-0s here, Juice, and I don't know how to feel about it. We've been jumping around from group to group, so there have been some closer matches here in between. But it might just be a bit of a caster's curse, as all we've been given this night are 2-0s.
It's our fault. You're so right. I'm so sorry to all the teams out there. No, but like I think it's really just shows you the skill levels of all the schools really playing right now. It's very much like, yeah, UFT swept their last game, but now Ottawa swept their game with them. I think it's really just a very sweaty day for the Marvel Rivals community here in collegiate esports. But I mean, hey, amazing nonetheless, and especially seeing these stats living in very much deservedly so. I'm seeing how everyone is placing, and we're seeing with Brusky with MVP with the 42 kills. I didn't realize it was 42, I will say, but I am not surprised. He was an insane Punisher.
Yeah, it was a 16-minute game, so the stats are a little bit padded, but still 56k. That's the power of having a pocketed Punisher. And yes, Mantis was taken off the board, but you have that Storm to help make up for it. And, you know, the damage amp, that movement speed boost, the ability to peel from the rest of the team really helped put this together. You see a one-man army, but I see a whole group effort to propel Brewski up to that top echelon where your team needs to be if they want to continue to fight for their life in this tournament.
I mean, yeah, rightfully so. Ultimately, especially when the way Marvels plays out, like how we talked about it with other teams as well, where very much like a lot of people were able to get that far thanks to their supports. And I mean, yeah, very much that Storm was intense. Like, oh my goodness, a lot of beautiful ult and movements from her. Period. But like, still, Thunderbolts, nothing. They did an amazing job too as well. It was just. It really was just a lot of back and forth and very, again, like these games are quick, so I mean obviously, but like very much so, like they were so quick to like kind of counter each other to really put their plays out, and very more often than not how the advantage kept switching within just like within a minute or two.
Yeah, it's just crazy seeing the way that things change hands so fast, but ultimately, right, we have winners and we have losers, and you're the one holding that bag last. You are going to be the victor, right, at the end of the day. So that does, though, bring us to the conclusion of day one of CIE 2026. I want to thank all of you for coming and watching. I want to thank the production crew as well as all of the players for participating here tonight. And make sure you stay tuned, right? May 2nd, that is tomorrow, we're going to have on the main channel the Marvel Rivals semifinals, as well as the grand finals, starting again at 7 p.m. And hey, if you're in tune with the panels, if you want to come by and listen to some words of wisdom, starting from 3:30 p.m. EST, you can find out about student leaders in esports, followed up by a leveling up panel where we have some industry insiders going to talk to us about how they launched their careers past collegiate. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure to tune in, make sure to drop a follow, because you'll get those juicy notifications right from this channel. Thank you all again for dropping by, and I wish you all have a wonderful night.
Yes, thank you all, and we will see you. Well, you'll see us floating around CIE. So yeah, we will see you, and have a great day.